We have our 2 student athletes and our head coach. As a reminder to everyone in the room, if you are to ask a question from the floor, please identify yourself, the agency that you're with, as well as which of our personalities you're addressing the question to so that we can get our cameras in the right position. We have microphones floating around, so we'll ask who wants the first question. And we see it right here, so Jade will bring it second row to our right at the aisle.
Sheena Quick with the 3-point conversion. This question is for Coach K. With what you know about the G League and Duke having kind of a tradition of having players that leave a little bit early, how do you think that will affect the college game and namely your program?
You're talking about the new thing, the 125,000, is that what you're talking about? Okay. You know, first of all, I think a lot has to be explained about that. You know, I think it's great that the NBA is looking for another alternative to see if high school players can have entry into the NBA. But a lot of things have to be ironed out in that regard, and I'd like to know what those things are. To me, it's very difficult to imagine, say, these 2 guys were coming out, and how do you allocate them? In other words, if Javin came to me and I'm with the Celtics, I'm with the Celtic affiliate, and I train him the entire time, and then he goes into the draft and the Knicks pick him, you know, and I don't know how you work that out. So there's a lot that has to be done before, you know, we can give a definitive answer in that regard. I wonder, in some respects, is it a preemptive strike by the NBA to say we've made this attempt, or we're making this attempt, and maybe where they might not go forward in 2022 with what they're doing with the so-called one and done. So I think it's good. I think change is good, and to look at it, and I would hope that the college game could keep abreast of those instead of just being reactionary to it.
To your left, second row, right at the aisle.
Yes, Eric Boynton with the Spartanburg Herald-Journal. It's for Coach K. Coach, obviously Zion Williamson, very, very well known before he even enrolled with you guys for his highlight reel dunks and all the highlights on video. Could you just expand a little bit just on his entire skill set and other things he brings to the table above the obvious highlight things that he does?
So can I use momentum of your question to maybe to ask these guys questions because they played with him? You know, what do you guys think about playing with Zion, and then I'll answer and fill in the blanks for them.
So, Javin, how about you go first?
You know, for me, with knowing what I knew about Zion heading into the summer, I was actually very surprised at what a graceful athlete he is. You see all the YouTube highlights and all the stuff that he can do, but his footwork, his body control, and his skill set is really incredible. And going up against him every day, you know, has been a challenge, but it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, guarding this guy every day, you know, you work out pretty quick that he's so much more than just, you know, an incredible athlete. One thing that sticks out to me is his passing ability. You know, he can really pass the ball and make plays for his teammates.
By the way, it's passing ability.
Passing. Yeah, you know, he can really distribute the ball, and you know, every time the ball gets in his hand, you know, he's just a really smart player. You know, he always seems to make the right play. You know, he makes his teammates better. He's a great guy off the floor to be around. Great locker room guy. You know, I can't speak highly enough of him. You know, he's been great since day one, since he's come here.
I feel like we're coaching USA basketball, and I'm the interpreter for the Australian team. Just to add a little bit more, he's been a joy to coach. You know, he's such a good guy, and he's an extremely hard worker. He's a good basketball player, and has guard skills, and has fit in fabulously and won the respect of these guys and the coaching staff. Just I think one of the more unique basketball players that I've had a chance to coach, and the best athlete that I've had a chance to coach at Duke.
To our right, second row, Bob Holliday.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com. Javin, question for you. You played with a lot of talented scorers last year, and yet when you were in the game, you always found a way to influence the game. This year, you'll again be playing with talented scorers. What are your objectives? How do you see your role in terms of blocking shots, getting in passing lanes, setting screens, rebounds with the players that you'll be around this year?
My job is just to come in and try and make as many plays as I can to help us win. And that might be, taking a charge, getting rebounds, stuff like that, stuff that may not necessarily show up in the box score. Because like you said, when you have guys who are really talented at scoring the ball, that's what they do. And so I'm going to let them do what they do, and I'm going to do what I do well, and hopefully win games.
One thing I'd add, Bob, with Javin, two of the things that he will add this year. One, he's been an outstanding leader for this group, and his leadership, the leadership aspect, and his ability to score the ball. He's become a good shooter. Did you ever think I'd say that?
No.
And but he's worked really hard, and we have confidence of him hitting the three, and obviously scoring on offensive boards and that. But he's worked really hard on his game, as has Jack.
On the left, follow the curtain all the way down to the first camera that you see towards the back. I thought he raised his hand and said he had a question. Then let's slide to the right, about the 8th row down off the aisle, gentleman in the red tie.
For Coach Pete Yanity from WSPA TV, what can Zion do to get even better in his time with you?
No, he is getting better. One, you learn how to work. You play against Jack every day. Jack has fought him when he's opposed him, fought him like, competed against him, which that's what he needs. And it's made both of them better players. Same thing with Jav. No, just his knowledge of the game. Overall, just everything. I mean, he has a big upside. And I think people are amazed, really, because they saw the dunking, and they saw dunks last night, too. But he can defend. He can improve in every way. He's going to be an outstanding player for us for the 1 year, and I think he's going to be he has a chance of being even an NBA All-Star.
To our right, 3rd row, right on the aisle.
Hey, Coach. Rod Baxley with the Fayetteville Observer. This can be for you and the players. You talked last night about Joey Baker making a jump this past week. What have you seen from him over the summer going into the preseason?
Yeah, let these guys answer, then I'll add if I need to.
Jack, we'll start with you.
First of all, I love Joey. Since day one, I've looked at him as kind of my little brother. I see a lot of myself in him and
Brother,
in our game.
it's his little brother. All right.
My little brother. I see a lot of myself in him. And, since day one, same as all the freshmen, since day one he's come in and worked hard. Just the improvement I've seen in his game since the summer up until last night, an exhibition game, has been tremendous. It's a credit to him and the work he's put in and really buying into the system and, just working out how he can really contribute to the team and help us win. He's done a great job, and I'm really excited to see, how he's going to continue to improve as the season goes on.
Like Jack said, Joey's a great kid. He's supposed to be in high school right now, and he came and he worked his tail off over the summer. And you can see how much he's improved from when we first got here to last week. He had an amazing week of practice, and we went and talked to him about it. We're like, Joey, we see you getting so much better. You're working so hard. Keep it up. And last night he came in and showed a little bit of what he can do for us. He can really help.
Yeah, you echo those. And by the way, I see Bobby Cremens in the back, and while he's still awake, I wanted to say something. Bobby, and you haven't met Coach Cremens yet.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
I want him to be Matt Harpring. Okay, that would be a good thing. We're going to get some tapes and show you. Obviously, Coach Cremens was one of the great coaches in our league, and we've had storied battles, to include the worst game that the ACC ever had, a 47-45 game, when we were both building our programs in camera.
So we're going to go to the camera platform in the very back to the right. Gentleman in the olive suit, I guess.
Appreciate that. This is for the players. First of all, what were you able to take away from last night? And then for Javin, what's up with the foot?
The foot is good. It's getting better. Just really trying to take my time with it, make sure it's okay. It's not going to be something that's nagging. And last night was a good test for us. We saw some things that we can do really well. We tried out some new lineups and saw some potentially very scary things. And then also we saw some things that we need to work on, especially talking in transition and making sure we have defensive balance.
Yeah, I think last night was, a good game for us, a good learning experience. At the start of the game, we were a bit rusty, but I think as the game went on, we really improved and worked on the things that we needed to. We came in at halftime and, addressed a few things, and I think we could really see the difference in that in the second half. So yeah, I was just really happy with our first hit out as a team, and looking forward to competing these guys in the future.
Let's go back to Bob Holliday here in the second row to the right.
Coach, this is for you. You had a great deal of success with Trey Jones's brother as your point guard a few years back. In what ways does Trey's game remind you of Tyus's game, and what are some things that he does differently?
Well, they are different in the fact that Tyus really never played man-to-man defense in high school, and he's now a really good pro and he played good man-to-man for us, but we usually put Quinn Cook on the ball. And when he played, Trey can really play defense. He puts disciplined pressure on the ball, kind of like how Amaker, Hurley, Wojo, Duhan, those guys, he does that, and that starts our offense. He, like Tyus, is a pass-first point guard. The ball doesn't stick in his hands. Really easy to play with. At this time in his career, Tyus was a better shooter, or looked to shoot more. And we got to get, I think Trey's a good shooter. He doesn't look to shoot as much. But they're both winners, and that's the similarity, and easy to coach and great teammates to these guys.
We're going to go back to the right. In the very back, we're going to ask the gentleman to stand or at least put his hand up in the air so we can see him.
Mike, David Teal from Newport News. You've mentioned at this event before that college basketball at the start of the season just was too slow out of the gate and didn't generate enough interest. Do you then like the conference next season playing league games right at the start, and would you like to see that experiment as a full-time approach?
Yeah, I like the way we're doing it this year, where we've taken the Champions Classic with us in Kentucky and Kansas and Michigan State, starting off that night. It was brought up that this might be a good thing for the ACC, so I'm not like a huge proponent for it, but I'll go along with it, to see if it would, again, a number of the coaches wanted it, so let's take a look at it. The fact that 20 games will be played that makes it better, I think, because you have to fit them in. And it'll be interesting what happens with the proposals that they have, the oversight committee, on looking at what you do with the 31 games and what that'll do with events, tournaments. Will a team get to use 31 games, or do we have 27 and the 4-game exemption, or how that works out? So we're in that period of time where we're kind of looking at start, conference, exempt, and how you do it. So the fact that the ACC is going to do this, I think it's worth looking at and then evaluating it after that year.
Jack, with Duke playing in Hawaii in a couple of weeks, is this an opportunity for a lot of family members to travel over to watch you play?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, Hawaii is about halfway between Durham and Australia, so it'll be a good opportunity to, get some family and friends out and have a look and kind of experience, college basketball, some of them for the first time. So really looking forward to that, and more so just going out and competing out there with my teamates and, try and win the tournament.
Javin, you shook your head. Is that just too far of a distance to go?
Yeah, you know, we ask Jack all the time, like, how did Duke even find you all the way down there? And he, you know, it's always funny when he talks about going home because he gets 2 winters, like when it's summer here, it's winter there. So it's a lot of fun that we have with him being from Australia. So,
Coach, how did you find him all the way down there?
We actually saw tape of him, and then one of my best friends internationally is Patrick Hunt, who headed the Institute of Sport in Australia. I've known him he now heads FIBA, their technical committee, and he knew about Jack, and we vouched for him as a good kid. And obviously we saw on tape he's a good player, and we're lucky to have him.
Back to Bob Holliday, here to our right. Jade will come all the way back down.
Continuing with the international theme, you have a pretty good Canadian player joining your team this year. What makes R.J. Barrett unique?
Well, he's an outstanding basketball player and really ahead maturity-wise. He seems like he's a senior or a junior at least. And he's always played up and with the national team and been the leader of whatever age group he's with, but has played older all the time, and playing for Kevin Boyle at Montverde, where they were undefeated. He's just ahead, and is a winner. He's just an outstanding basketball player that is truly positionless, and is a really good teammate. He's a good guy to play with, a winner, a real winner.
Coach, a really good question was asked earlier. What type of team do you think you'll have when you come back to this building in March?
A healthy one, I hope. Hopefully Javin's thrown that boot and given it to, someone else who might need it. Hopefully, not to wish any harm, and that anything I say might be taken a little bit differently. So, I didn't mean that to harm anybody. But healthy would be the main thing, and I think we're going to be really together. This group likes one another. We're going to be a lot better then than we are now, and hopefully we'll be worthy with our work and our effort to have a chance to win.
Other questions from the floor? We'll go back here to our left, second row.
Yeah, Eric Boynton with the Spartanburg Herald-Journal. Coach, could you just expand a little bit on calling Zion Williamson the most unique player you've coached? Is that just basically based mostly off his athleticism?
Yeah, the athlete, the best, unique athlete. And the most unique player I've ever coached was Leitner, because he won all the time. But no, he just did. You can't say Zion is like somebody. He has a chance to be, he already is like a one-name guy. Not many people get that. And he can I think he'll be able to back it up. So, he has a great support system in his family, too, and his community. From being there how good he is with kids, right? Yeah, he's a Pied Piper. He just has so many good people skills. And so that, along with his extraordinary athletic ability and work ethic, it's like the perfect storm for uniqueness and success.
Jack, your game has progressed over the last 2 years. How would you describe yourself as a basketball player at Duke University?
I think, I guess, just solid. I think I've really tried to work on my consistency with my game. I think my three-point shots improved a lot since I've gotten here, and my defense and leadership as well. I still need to work on my ball handling a lot and keep that tight, but I feel like I don't want to hear it, Javin.
I think he's going to confession. Javin.
But yeah, and obviously, playing against great teammates every day, guarding, since my freshman year, Jason, Matt, Grayson, Talash, Gary, all these guys, I'm guarding great talent every day. And, obviously now this year, the same thing too. So I think only just playing against these guys every day, you can only help it get better. And, that experience for me has been great. I wanted to come here to challenge myself, and I knew that was going to help me get better as a player, both on and off the court. But yeah, this year I'm really, looking to be, a dependable, player for the team, consistent, a leader for us, and, just someone who's willing to do anything to help us win.
Any other questions from the floor?
Can I say one thing too? Just on behalf of Duke Athletics and especially our basketball program and me, because I've been in it as long as this guy, we lose a true superstar in our conference at the end of this year in Brian Morrison. What he's done in promoting the league and getting us together and he's been terrific to work with. And we want to thank him for all that he's done for our program and for the ACC. What a class guy, and he's walking around here today. It's his last hurrah, for media day. And if you see him, give him a hug. He deserves a big hug. He's been a stud guy. And you talk about unique. Brian Morrison's been unique, and it's helped the growth of this great conference. So on behalf of Duke Athletics and Duke Basketball, just a huge thank you to Brian Morrison.
With that said, Duke, thank you. Good luck. We'll see you back here in March.
Thank you.
Folks, Virginia is due up next, and by the schedule, they show at, no correction, Virginia Tech is due up next. They show at 1:15 right here. Thank you.